This is the Savvy Investor radio show and podcast. For help with your retirement, schedule a 15-minute phone conversation with the team at ProStatus Financial Advisors today. Just call 866-597-1040 and at thesavvyinvestorradio.com.
One of the things that we talk about here on the show is not only getting ready for retirement, but once you put that nest egg together, all the things that are coming after that money. And this is an interesting study that the Department of Labor did. They say that if you have 1% of financial fees, and we'll talk about that a little bit and how that all works, but if you have 1% of financial fees, you can lower your retirement savings by 28% over the period of your retirement. And you think about it this way. We always talk about taxes and the hit you get there. So if you've saved $1 million for retirement, you lose 25% to taxes. You lose over 25% to fees. I can do that math. That's 50%. That means that $1 million that I had saved for retirement is now only $500,000. So, Ryan, is that accurate when you see people come in the door? Are they ready for that? And can you help them through it?
I mean, I think that the big thing there is that you want to be aware of the fees. A lot of people go, they come in and sit down, and more often than not, surprisingly, when I ask people what they're paying in fees, they'll go, well, I don't pay anything in fees. And I'm like, okay, so you're telling me that Vanguard and T. Rowe and, Tom Jones for Tom Jones Financial, they're all doing this for free. All these companies, these massive companies are doing this for free. You want to be aware of the fees that you're paying. And, the industry average is somewhere between, I would say, 0.8% and 1.5% for wealth management. That's, the annual fee. And so you want to be aware of that. And if you're aware that, I'm paying this fee, I'm paying my advisor, and they're providing me with good advice, they're providing me with great service, they're providing me with peace of mind of knowing that I don't have to worry about it, you can be okay with paying that fee, because if they're doing a good job, they're being good stewards of their money, hopefully they are making up for their fees in kind of the performance that's going out there. And one of the ways I think that we help with, helping clients come to terms with paying that fee is all of the other services that we really provide. Because, as you said, I'm going to lose 25% of my money to taxes. You're not going to lose 25% of your money to taxes. You're going to lose 30 to 40% of your money to taxes, because it's not just that federal tax. It's the state tax as well. In Maryland, it's about 7%. But, most people, most of the clients we see, that the level of income that they're bringing in retirement, the level of income that they're bringing in while they're working, it normally puts them in the 22, 24, 25% tax bracket or effective tax rate, because there is no 25% tax bracket. And when you are in retirement, people think that my taxes are going to go down in retirement because I'm going to be spending less money. And that's never really the case, because the way to approach retirement is, if right now as a couple, we're earning $200,000 a year and we're spending $180,000 a year because we're saving money in our savings account, we're saving money in our 401k. Well, that $180,000 number a year, that's what we should be targeting. And if it's costing you $200,000 to net out $180,000 after taxes, well, that's what it's going to be like in retirement. Just because you stop working doesn't mean your lifestyle should change. And if your lifestyle is not changing, more often than not, you're without proper planning, your taxes aren't going to change.
And Lawrence, when we talk about this, really at the heart of this story is, what are you getting for what you're paying? We know that it doesn't come for free. I mean, I have a lawn service. You can have a lawn service that just mows your lawn. Or you can have a lawn service that does your bushes, and it does your trimming, and it does, in the fall, they take out the leaves and they fertilize in the spring. There's more than just mowing the lawn. And when you choose a financial advisor and a firm to help you with this, you've got to know that you should be getting more than just advice on your investments.
Exactly. I mean, I think that is the biggest thing to this, especially when paying fees to a financial advisor, is what's the value that you're getting in paying that fee? Is there true value in there? Are you working with an advisor that's kind of just done a risk tolerance, based on, how aggressive or how conservative you want to be, and then they pick some stocks and bonds or some mutual funds, they throw you in them there, and then you just are in a buy and hold strategy based on your risk tolerance, and you're not really getting any value. You're not getting any advice. They're not reaching out to you. You're not meeting with them consistently, and they're just riding out the market. The answer they always give you is historically the market bounces back, and based on our initial conversation of risk tolerance, this is how we've allocated your portfolio. And then you're paying that 1% fee or more, and the portfolio is just kind of sitting there. There's not a lot of value that's being presented to you. So one of the biggest differences in what we do at ProStatus is we're really going to get to know you. We're going to provide that value to you. We use an active management style when we look at the portfolio. So where our value comes on the downside of the market, right? We're always going to keep up with the market and be able to perform well on the upside. But what are we doing on the downside? When there's volatility in the market, are we making adjustments to the portfolio? Are we reaching out to our clients? Are we talking them through what's happening economically so that they feel comfortable, so that they see the value in working with a professional with us and what we're doing? And then there's that added layer of the tax planning as well. We're going to talk about taxes. We're going to provide you with answers to your tax questions. We're going to layer on estate planning as well. So you're getting a lot of value for the fee that you're paying to us versus just putting you in a portfolio and it's sitting there. So there's a lot of value that's coming from that 1% fee that you're paying to an advisor. So you want to check on the value that you're getting. You want to make sure that you're getting what you paid for. You're not just, sitting there. Again, like you said, with the lawn service, you're getting these other added ancillary services in addition to what you initially came there for. And it's just not cookie cutter plan, right? And that's one of the big things we do here at ProStatus. It's not a one size fits all cookie cutter plan. We get to know you. We get to know your goals. We get to know the income that you're looking for, how you want to spend retirement, how you want to spend time with your family, all these, little nuances of who you are as an individual or a family and what you want to accomplish in retirement, and making sure that we're guiding you through that so that you can have a successful retirement.
I think communication is probably key as well. Ryan, I was looking at the Market Watch advisor column, which is a great place to find, people getting angry and wondering what the heck to do with their finances. And it told the story of a guy who said right around election time, when Trump was elected, he got nervous because he was talking about tariffs all the time. And he said, I told my financial advisor, get me out, pull me out of the risk of the market. He got no phone call back. He got no response. He tried again with an email and with a call. He got no response. And then finally they called him back and they said, don't try to time the market. This isn't the time to do that. And he goes, and then I lost 10%. Communication, not only you reaching out to get to your advisor, but also the advisor reaching out to get to you. I think that's probably key in the relationship. And you can probably see that pretty quickly, can't you?
Yeah, I mean that's one of the complaints that I do see when people come in from the radio, from our workshops. Yes, I have an advisor, but they don't really communicate with me, or I'm paying them this fee, and like Lawrence said, my portfolio never changes. It's a one size fits all, set it and forget it approach, and that's not the way to approach retirement in our opinion. Communication is key. You want to have an advisor with a team around him, so you're not just reliant upon that one person to respond to you. You want to be able to reach out and say, hey, I was trying to get in touch with Ryan, but I got his out of office. He told me to reach out to Vanessa or Samantha or Taylor or one of his other people. Can I speak with them? That's kind of the key part of us doing it as a team, where everybody at ProStatus, all of the advisors at ProStatus, we all take that very same approach, just because, we take vacations. My wife loves to take vacations. If it was up to her, we'd be gone, 2 weeks out of the month, every single month. And sometimes it does feel like that with, to my staff, as much as I'm not here, but, tomorrow is also not promised. We want to make sure that everybody has the same strategy, but most importantly, you want to have a strategy that that accounts for those ups and downs of the market. You know, one of the things that we do is we put out a lot of communication. We do these quarterly market updates where we say, here's what we have seen in the stock market. And we send this link out to all of our clients, say, hey, you know, it's the first Tuesday of the quarter, log in. It's a webinar. It's at 6:00. And, you know, you'll see myself kind of talking, but here's what we have seen in the markets. Here's kind of what we see going forward. And, you know, leading up to the election, that's what I was talking about. If Trump wins, here are the risks with Trump. If Kamala wins, here are the risks with her. Here's what I think will happen. And I did one in early January where I said, here's the tariffs. Here's what is going to happen. Here are all those steps that we are going to take. Here are the protective measures that we are going to put in place. And so what that really translates to me is I don't get those emails. I don't get those phone calls of, you know, I'm panicking because the stock market's crashing, because we have communicated to our clients, here's what our strategy is. And if you have questions, please reach out to us. But I would say, you know, when the stock market was kind of crashing the first part of this year because of everything that Trump was doing, I maybe had 4 or 5 we probably had 4 or 5 phone calls total as a firm out of the hundreds of clients, just because communication is key. You want to have an advisor who listens and is not just putting you in that one size fits all approach. If we're going to put money in the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones and large cap and small cap, we're just going to leave the money there and not change it. You want to have a plan that not only adapts to what's going on in the stock market and what's going on in the economy, but adapts to you and your lifestyle in retirement. And if this is something that you've been looking for, if you have been reaching out to your advisor and not getting the response you want, or if you feel like your portfolio has just been sitting static, I encourage you to give us a call at 866-597-1040, 866-597-1040, and sit down with myself or a member of our team here at ProStatus to let us show you what a true comprehensive retirement plan can look like for you. And if you're like me, you don't like picking up the phone to make appointments, you can go to our website, thesavvyinvestorradio.com. That's thesavvyinvestorradio.com. Right there on the front of the page, it says schedule my call. Right there, you can look at your calendar and our calendar in real time without ever having to pick up the phone. 866-597-1040, 866-597-1040.
Or thesavvyinvestorradio.com. If you've saved $500,000 or more for retirement, this is where you're really going to see the power of planning. Social Security planning, tax planning, investment planning, estate planning. All of it really starts to really come into focus, and you'll see the benefit of it right there. Give us a call, 866-597-1040, 866-597-1040, or thesavvyinvestorradio.com, and you'll see the button there. It says schedule a call.
Advisory services offered through ProStatus Financial Advisors Group, a registered investment advisor. Insurance licensed in Maryland. ProStatus Financial Advisors Group, LLC is not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if ProStatus Financial Advisors Group is licensed in your state, please call 410-863-1040. ProStatus Group, LLC is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through representatives of ProStatus Financial Advisors Group.